So, on behalf of the college, good afternoon, and thank you for coming. Welcome. We're really glad you're here today. So, my most important job is to say, CP, on behalf of the faculty and staff of the College of Natural Science, congratulations, and thank you for everything you've done, and we're looking forward to great things. And like Doug, I want to take this opportunity to thank Lei and the Tung family for making this endowed position possible. Commitment, this is no joke. Commitment and dedication of donors like you enrich the lives of the faculty and students, and guarantee that there's going to be resources going forward to help Michigan State lead the world in education and research in perpetuity. And that's really the impact of these endowed positions. So, you just heard from Doug, I mean, these positions are really important. They are indeed the hallmark of every great university. And we absolutely need as many as we can get to increase Michigan State's competitiveness. They allow us to compete nationally and internationally to attract and retain the most outstanding educators and researchers, and as importantly, to be able to think long-term about the investments we want to make in the scientific directions that will position us for leadership in the future. Great faculty attract other great faculty, which is that, thinking as a chemist, this is an autocatalytic situation. Great faculty attract great grad students and postdocs. And these students and postdocs not only work with the faculty members, but they're the future of the country's and indeed the world's scientific enterprise. So again, an impact of these kinds of positions at the university, but beyond the university. And great faculty members also attract external funding. And it's no secret that competition for funding is getting harder and harder. And the institutions that survive are going to make a difference in the world, the ones that can attract this funding and have these endowed positions, and we intend to be among those institutions. So CP is an expert in theoretical high-energy physics, and as we're going to hear, has played a great role in many research directions. And certainly from my standpoint, recognizing you with this professorship is going to help guarantee the continued growth, quality, impact of the Department of Physics and Astronomy. So again, CP, congratulations. We're looking forward to many great things. And next up is Chip Rock, University Distinguished Professor, longtime faculty member of the department, former chair, who's going to share some reflections on Wookie Tung's role, contributions to the department in Michigan State.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a great occasion, and I like being able to talk about my dear friend, Wookie Tung. Wookie would be thrilled with this honor, and so are we. Lei, you and your family have ensured that your dad's name will survive all of us who've been fortunate to have been in his orbit. Wookie loved universities, so an endowed professorship, that's perfect. He thrived on the focus of research, the camaraderie, and he deeply respected the pedagogy of physics and mathematics. Wookie might have been the most organized person I think I've ever known. He organized ideas, strategies, people, and things. I remember being in his Hyde Park study many years ago. Lined on one wall was a specially built, looked like to me, specially built bookshelf with little shelves that were just exactly the right size for exabyte tape cartridges, because Wookie had what I thought were at least 100 digital recorded operatic performances that he would listen to deep in the night. Digital recordings in 1980, who does that? Your dad's notebooks were the same. He'd start a problem slowly and lovingly build a handwritten book covering the project from the beginning to the end. Everything for Wookie was a project. Even his coming to East Lansing was a patient project. In the late 1980s, we committed here to a tight collaborative environment between theory and experiment in high energy physics, and we began an extended search for a senior physicist around whom to anchor it. We had dozens of candidates, and during 3 years, we substantially raised the salaries of 3 prominent senior colleagues back at their home institutions. I remember riding in a car in 1991 on the Fermilab site with Wookie. He was driving. I don't remember why. We were together at that time. And he quietly asked me, "Would you be interested in me?" "I won't play games." Your dad didn't play games with academia. He'd stepped down his chair at IIT, and he knew how to hire, so he knew how to be hired. He and Gary Crawley came to terms very quickly, and an incredibly productive era in our group began. And many of our families formed warm bonds with your mom and dad. Janet, Kimberly, Terry, and I were especially close to Wookie and Beatrice. We knew we could count on them if we needed to. Just before that, he'd identified a project. He'd realized that the highest priority programs in worldwide high-energy physics experiments were limited by theoretical physics, which could be overcome, he thought, with collaboration across professional barriers. No better place to set up shop than here. And soon after he arrived, he had everyone engaged. We're now known worldwide for this collaborative approach, continuing today under the leadership of CP and Joey Houston. The name of the group is CTEC. It's a tortured acronym I'm not going to try to explain, but the CTEC collaboration and publications are the most highly cited papers in the American Physical Society. The CTEC Summer School is a worldwide affair. It all set down roots at MSU because of Wookie's ability to predict the future and his tenacity to make it happen. CTEC lives on, and its original members will never forget Wookie. And now everyone will remember Wookie. I'd like to acknowledge that one of these, Dave Silver, one of the original guys, is here from Oregon as a measure of his devotion to CTEC in Chicago and this event here today. Wookie changed his career dramatically in order to take on this unromantic joint experiment theory project. But he had a front half of a career, that of a respected, deep theoretical physicist. He was guided in that work often by the mathematics of group theory. So before starting this new program of sleeves rolled up problem solver, he completed his program of formal theorist by writing what I think is the most beautiful book on group theory ever. In 1985, it's still around today. I devotedly use it when I teach group theory to graduate students. Wookie took intense personal interest in all of those around him, from the Asian student newly arriving on campus to the assistant professor just beginning to create an independent program, to the seasoned campus veteran searching his way through a knotty administrative problem. What troubled you troubled Wookie. So now we welcome our first Wookie Tung endowed professor. CP is also a project man, I'm happy to report, managing to keep a dozen people busy on problems, many of which follow the trajectory originally forged by Wookie. Many experimenters work with CP today, me among them. Leigh, I want your mom to know that it's enormously satisfying to me that this inaugural honor goes to his friend and trusted colleague, CP. Wookie's legacy is in fine hands, and the bar is now very high, which is exactly what he would like.
Let's see, when I was here 3 weeks ago for the university-wide investiture ceremony, I spoke briefly on behalf of the entire donor community. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about this particular investiture. One of the things I said then is that every endowed faculty position has a unique and special story behind it. I believe it is important for that story to be recounted and considered, since it really should inform the award process and help ensure that the honoree be aligned with not only the associated academic or scientific topic, but with the spirit that is the intent and the meaning imbued in the role. In the case of the professorship created in my father's name, my family and I wanted, of course, to make sure that the position represented and supported the field of science that he spent his career working in, which is particle physics. But it was even more important to us that it represented and supported the manner in which my father approached his work. As Chip and CP have both noted today, collaboration was at the core of how my father practiced physics and academics, as evidenced in his organizing efforts and dedication to the CTEC collaboration, as well as all of his other professional endeavors. Therefore, we wanted to make sure that the notion of collaboration, which means working, literally laboring together, figured prominently into the charter for the professorship. The other word that we wanted to highlight, and this actually was on one of CP's slides, is the word collegiality, which adds a nuanced but significant overtone, I believe, to the description of my father's working principles. The base word colleague has, by no coincidence, the same roots as the word college. They are composed of the prefix col, which means with or together, combined with the Latin legere, meaning to choose or to gather. But the historical meaning and connotation of college, and hence collegiality, is a self-governed association of people joined in some common function, some common purpose, as in the ancient Roman collegia, or craft guilds. These days, just as colleges are the places for scholars to come together and collectively craft their knowledge and thinking and methods of instruction, colleagues, at least in the sense that we in the Charter intend to celebrate and promote, are the people who come together and collectively craft their knowledge and thinking and methods of instruction. In the best cases, they do this irrespective of, but not necessarily disrespecting, established or externally imposed institutional boundaries. Instead, they self-organize around higher shared doctrines and aspirations. They develop and operate under innovative and pertinent guidelines and means of interaction. So my family and I are extremely gratified that the first award of the professorship in my father's name is going to CP, someone who worked so closely with my father for many years, and who is and has long been a prominent member of the CTEC collaboration that my father believed so strongly in. There could not be a more fitting designation in terms of the alignment and continuity of the physics, as well as the practice of and the commitment to the collaboration and collegiality that we desire to support through the creation of this endowment. On behalf of my family, I would like to express gratitude also to the many people at MSU who have worked with us over the last several years and who have helped us make this position possible. In particular, I would like to thank Suzette Hittner. I don't know if she's, oh, hi. And Corey Palmer, and Karen Wank, and Phil Duxbury for their visits and their phone calls, for their ideas and guidance to us through this process, and for keeping us connected with and excited by the ongoing developments in the spirit of the university as a whole and the College of Natural Science in particular. And I know there are many other people behind the scenes who are too numerous to list and whose names I don't all know, who also deserve our thanks. I want to express a very special appreciation to Chip Rock, excuse me, for his tremendous effort and meticulous and his tremendous effort and meticulous and heartfelt dedication to the drafting of the charter, for the endowment, especially in detailing the biographical information about my father's career, as well as beautifully capturing the ethos of his beliefs. Chip's involvement and contribution could only have been made by somebody who is a true colleague, a staunch supporter, and most importantly, a cherished friend. So, congratulations to CP, again, as a charter recipient of this award. I have every confidence that he and the Wu-Ki Tang Professorship in Particle Physics will serve each other well, and that he will be the exemplar for all honorees to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leigh. That was fantastic. And we're going to continue the celebrations just down the corridor in room 1400. Everybody is welcome to join us for the reception. Thanks very much to all who participated.